Thank you so much for having me. First of all, listen, I've heard President Trump speaking about tariff, and it sounds like the tariff tantrum is not going to stop anytime soon. He seemed to use tariff as a tool for threatening, for bullying, for targeting countries to get what he wants. Unfortunately, trade is something that has been there with the different civilization for centuries, for thousands of years, for millenniums. So this is not the first time that India or US or China are doing trades. We have done. I come from Indian civilization. We have done the trade for generations, for civilizations that still not, it's not even alive today. However, at this point of time, what President Trump is doing is it's a geopolitical tool. He literally wants to use it to get what he wants. So for in the case of India, he wants to use a tariff squeeze India's import landscape, and then also want to enter Indian agro market, which is what I understand based on his agenda, his goal. And I think the GMOs and the American products are going to be a killer for Indian market. It's going to completely wipe out the agriculture, the market that India has. And at this point of time, that's what I understand, that his latest target on rice is nothing but he wants to literally squeeze India, which is fine. I think at the end of the day, I have seen every single time India has been pushed to some kind of crisis, India always did well. It's sort of like we Hindu, it's in our Hindu blood, I suppose, or DNA, that Hindus don't do anything unless it becomes push or shove. So for Hindus in India and Hindustan, I think this is sort of a boon. No matter what he does, it's you guys are going to find out a different market, a separate market, a alternative market, and I don't doubt that India is going to do well. Even the last quarter's GDP growth has been 8.2%, despite Trump's tariff threats. So I don't doubt that India is going to do well. Certainly, initially, it's going to be a little difficult, and which is fine. I mean, I think America has the choice what Trump wants to do. Unfortunately, using this as a geopolitical tool, I think he's actually ruining the relationship between India and US for long term. And whoever comes in the presidential seat, if there is an election that happens in 2028, then the new person, the new president, the new administration have to restart back in terms of building the relationship with India and US. Sure. See, as I said, I mean, there will be some effect initially, but I don't think long term it's going to be an issue, because India is going to find alternate markets. And but on top of it, I think what I've seen from India's perspective, diplomatically, India has shown massive amount of restraint and brilliant patience, and that's going to really fare out well in the global politics for going forward. And I think the entire world has noticed actually that it hasn't India hasn't actually returned back the favor the way it came across from America. So I think overall, yes, initially it's going to be very difficult for the Indian farmers as well. But you have to understand why President Trump is doing. What he's trying to do is actually trying to show his MAGA base that he is squeezing other countries, and somehow the other countries are taking advantage of America, which I think is very insulting. American companies, if I have to take a look at American companies, literally every 200 top American companies are doing business in India. from consumer perspective, from IT development perspective, from using the talents and etc. So I think when you say that when America actually doubles down on the fact that so-called countries are actually abusing America, taking advantage of America, and dumping their products in America, and harming our, American farmers. There is no reason for India or Thailand or China to dump their product to America if it was not necessary. So I think it's this is trade is a two-way transaction. It doesn't happen one way. For instance, in America today, they're actually targeting Indian Americans, the successful Indian Americans who are law abiding, who are actually paying taxes. They are not involved in politics. They are not targeting buildings. They are not suicide bombers. They're not hijacking flights. They're not bombing buildings and etc. like that. Unfortunately, because of Indian American success, this has become a major target. Indians have become a major target in America. They are being called all sorts of names. You name it, all the filthy, the smelly scammers, fraudsters. Indians are stealing American jobs. Indian shouldn't be brought out here. H1B is a scam. H1B has to be completely wiped out and things like that. All these things that has over the last year plus the during the campaign that we have seen, it has manifested into this that Indians don't belong here. Indians are not American. Indians cannot ever be an American. They need to be deported. And that's the double standards that I'm seeing. And racism obviously is part of embedded within the American society. So unfortunately, this what you are seeing in terms of the tariff, it's not just the tariff. It's not the tariff on rice. It's a bigger issue. Well, he imposed 50% tariff even before. I've seen RBI governor, previous governor Raghuram Rajan's statement that Pakistan has dealt with Trump wisely, so they got 19%. And since India didn't deal with Trump properly, they got 50%. I think that's an insult to the country. And you actually don't need an external person to insult the country when you have folks like that sitting within India trying to bring the country down. Unfortunately speaking, for President Trump, tariff is one of the tool for flexing muscles. So it's not what you are asking. The question is it because of Russia and India conversation, Putin and Modi India meet? Absolutely, 100%. Because at the end of the day, uh, America doesn't want Russia to be close to India. Now, Russia has been one of the ever how do I say that? It's eternal enemy of America, unfortunately. So the Russophobia that we have seen during the Cold War, post Cold War, post 9/11, even now, this is no going nowhere. When Russia does well, you see what's happening from a geopolitical standpoint. America really tried to corner Russia and isolate Russia from everywhere. They thought Russia was going to completely shatter. But even though Ukraine has been funded, trained, supported, nurtured by America, and even literally been fighting without the boots on the ground. Ukraine lost territories, but America doesn't want to accept the fact that we lost this gamble. this gambling that America has done, it's completely, failed utterly and spectacularly for the world to see. So at this point of time, America has no other choice but to make a deal with Russia. At this point of time, what I understand based on what I've seen, Ukraine is probably going to lose their territory and Russia is going to win in this case. So, what happens in there? Uh, America wants to work with or deal with Russia. Obviously, they don't want India to be close with Russia. And that kind of dynamics that we have seen, sort of like a high school drama, I don't think this is going to ever change or stop from American side, sadly. So to answer your question very shortly, is it because of the closeness that we have recently seen between Russia and India? 100%, there is no doubt about it.